is that the guy that's gonna fight under Dimas? No. How do they know how the fight's gonna look like?
Those are commercials from the last fight.
What's the mirror I'm on?
When he came back after New York, saw him briefly, saw the hand. When you see one of your guys, in this case the world champion, nursing a little bit of an injury, does that or did that weigh in at all to when this title defense was going to happen?
Of course it does a little bit, but I've been with Jose a long time, so I know him well. So when he says he needs 30 days or a level of pain, we'll get everything checked out right away. So this was just a matter of 30 days, making it immobile so that it could heal. There was no surgery needed, any of that. So by the time the gates opened up with the television networks and the promoters, and we started coordinating to get the date, everything just fell into place.
Jose, when you were fighting for the title back in New York, was there anything, for somebody who's never been in a ring, meaning me, was there anything that he brought at you that you weren't ready for, that maybe a slight
It's hard enough being a firefighter, let alone fighting at this level for a world championship. Unbelievable. And when he's not fighting fighters and he's not boxing, full-time husband and father, but more importantly, he's got a foundation back home in Massachusetts called Off the Canvas. It's a non-profit that helps mentors kids with school, discipline, nutrition, and everything else. You're talking about a guy with a full plate that just loves the sport. Very unique possibility. Yet he can leave this Saturday night a world champion. So Connor's going to work out a little bit in shadow box like he's doing. So we'll come out of the ring right now. For everybody that's here in the front row media, we'll come down. They play with them, start doing their one-on-one interview. We got lots of stuff to work with. A ton. All guys have incredible story. Go ahead, man. Head down and start training. Right now for 3 minutes. Come on. Go. Woo! Very special story. Man was here from the Central Valley and he's actually worked in the field and his family a majority of his life. When I asked him about what he likes to do besides box, he said he likes to help immigrants and field workers get the right medical attention when they're going to the clinics. That's what he does in his off time. He goes out to the field and he finds people to make sure that they get the right medication and the right medical help when going into the clinics. That right there, the guy hooked him. I'm a fan from day one after sitting talking to him. Manuel has came up in the hard road in boxing. He's training garages, out on the streets. He has got an opportunity right now to fight in front of 15,000 people at the Safeguard Center on ESPN. Will be streaming his fight to about 600,000 people at the Safeguard Center this Saturday night. Aside from that, he's a tireless promoter. You'll see Manuel just about everywhere in town promoting his fight, shaking hands, meeting people, and more impressive, he's headed out to the field. And we all know this is the Ag Valley here in Fresno. He is personally went out to a lot of the farms, a lot of the places where he's worked, continues to work in the field on the off season, and basically invited everybody to the fight. A very, very special story for us on Saturday night. Go ahead, you guys work out. You guys good? All right, so man, head on down and make the way to the workout. All right, so go ahead, show him, man. Give him a little taste of Saturday night real quick. And just so you guys understand, getting on a card this big, there's 100 fighters calling from across the United States trying to get on this card. And we can't put them on there. But even in top rank, hearing this guy's story, he made the card. So like I said, this goes way past boxing. So if you're in the arena on Saturday, you can't help but root for man like that.
September 8th. September 8th. That's my show. It'll be held right there at the Hartley Boxing.
shot. Oh, that's funny. Finish it, Fuego, finish it. Oh, finish it, Fuego, finish it, come on. Oh, that's it, that's it. That's it. Good job, Fuego. All right, next up, we've got one of my favorite fighters. He's a heavyweight. He brings a lot of action to the ring. And he's not just a heavyweight, he's a good heavyweight. Who's 30-1 and just fought for a world championship in Australia not too long ago. Came up a little short on the decision, but he's already got a win. He's already looking forward to another shot at the title. We're fighting Saturday night. Andy, come on in real quick. Andy Ruiz. Andy first fought at the Sound Arena a couple times. Had some huge knockouts. Huge. So, I think, Andy, how many people were at the world title fight that you had? It was like stadium, wasn't it?
He treated her differently, right?
The world title that Andy fought for, there had to be 20,000, 30,000 people against Joseph Parker in a big stadium. So that's Andy's goal right now. He's right back at another world title shot. And that starts Saturday night here in Fresno. And again, on ESPN Live in prime time to 100 million homes on ESPN the Foreman at the same time, and ESPN Plus if you've got a phone or a tablet anywhere in the world. So Andy's got a big shot on Saturday night to get right back to the world title. Especially to have here in this round. 30-1, by the way. So Andy's from not too far away, but in Imperial Valley. You know, not too far away, about 5 hours. About 5 hours.
That's mine.
And Andy still holds one title. He's still an ABF, champion right now. So again, this young man right here is from Stockton, California. His name is Gabriel Flores Jr. He's the youngest fighter in the history of boxing to sign a professional contract and turn pro. Let me say that again. The youngest fighter in the history of boxing ever, at 16 years old, turned pro. The world's largest promotional company in Top Rank. Coming out of Stockton, we all know how Stockton is and how rough it is out there in Stockton. You're talking about a young man at 16 years old, turning pro and making history just an hour and a half away from you. Well, if you drive like his dad an hour and a half, me 2 hours, but probably one of the most impressive things that's happened in the Ramirez is one of the top draws in the entire sport of boxing right now. He's filled this arena 7 times, like I said, up there with names like Canelo and Pacquiao and Mayweather, who is gone. A rare, select group of fighters that can fill an arena consistently. And that's a testament to everybody that's not only in the crowd, that lives here in the Central Valley. You can go across the United States, and Bob Aaron called us the break Oscar De La Hoya's amateur record with 160 wins and 6 consecutive USA golds in USA boxing on route to becoming the 2012 United States Olympian. He come out of the Olympics, turned pro with Top Rank, and his career would start. We have our very first fight in the Central Valley at West Hills Golden Eagle Arena. 3,000 people would show up that night when no one expected any more than 400 at the time. From there, he's been on the selling arena out 4 times to 10,000 people. The St. Mark Center 3 times to 14,000 people.
Scratch, go get your ball. Go get it. Scratch.
Like I traded DJ for this one? From where'd you find him?
Find that guy.
From where? Where'd you find him?
Oh, he got Texas. Mission, Texas. Team De Leon. McField De Leon. Thank you. Bring me one then.
They make you pour big cans on a cup now, bro.
That's cool.
It's warm for us, man.
Oh, yeah, that way?
What's this underneath me, bro? What's this chicken for?
I tried to give it to that lady to let me in. She didn't let me in.
I seen that. Speaking of this, she knew where's my hand, man. What's going on with it? Second ring? Second bout, man?
Yeah.
I mean, second round?
Second round. First round was pretty even. No, the other guy throws a lot of punches, but he lands on the gloves. And the best punch is probably a body shot that he got. See? He's tired already. He's not doing nothing this round. Really late with his right. This called it. His legs are wobbling. This guy is 7-0. 7-0 or 9-0.
Oh,
The other one.
oh.
The one in the blue is not as good. It's like 9 over 15 losses or something like that.
Holy crap. We didn't.
Yeah, well, this round he's in. And he just stunned him with that right, like I called him. Don't try to take that foot with him. Stay that right, stay down the middle. Yeah, this guy for sure.
Playing with your hair over here.
That's a point right there. That's a point, Rip. Yeah, second one already. Mike.
Cold, bro.
Well, you don't have to walk like a mile to go get it. It's cold till you get it back.
Right here, man. Yeah, right on these corners, bro. Oh! God damn, dude.
You did a good one?
Yeah.
He's going down, he's going down. You got him. Kid is durable, man. He doesn't lose by knockout.
What is happening right now?
That's been a good shot. He don't lose by knockout.
Oh! Texas, bro.
Even once enough. See? Comedians, boy. I know this guy's dad right there. The one with the white? Yeah, I think he's fought in my gym before. I think the one in the white has fought in my gym, but I know his dad.
Oh, he's from Madrid?
No, from India.
Oh, but he came to boxing when you were 2 days ago?
Take it with the right hand, left foot.
No, man. John? It's hot when the light hits you, man. It was cold. Cold.
Fever.
Yeah, go up there, girl. Show me something.
Stop!
Break. The best part of my
Cut?
yeah, watch out for the headband.
The referee right there, I remember when he was doing nothing. He was just sitting at ringside and trying to learn. His dad got him.
How much ref give you, bro?
In California, not too much. But in Nevada, they do all right. They get like if it's a big fight, they get paid like more, you know?
Oh, they get paid per fight like that? Or
Yeah, per fight. But like say in Nevada for big fights, they'll get paid like extra, like 20,000 or 30,000 or 50,000, you know?
Really?
Yeah. But like in California, they'll get paid the same as this fight as a like big.
Oh man, that's old school shit. Oh.
Remember last time we were here with Bandy, how empty this place was? Until right before
He was there. So it's gonna be empty at their ship because they don't fight. So if he came, they all just all packed up, you know? How many rounds did he bout? 3?
It should be a 4-round fight because he's beginning with that.
Push his head down. Stop!
Break.
Break that body. Over it. Body good. Up and down. Up. Pick him up.
The body shot, Rick deliverable, you think?
hits your liver, it hurts.
Right? That's why they go down, huh?
It paralyzes you, dude. It's like,
That's when Oscar Flores got hit, huh? When the liver, boy, he went down. What the fuck happened there? Oh! He's going down. India's going down, bro.
two knockouts in a row. You're asking for too much.
It'll have much. It'll have, man. That's why he's not really falling off on it, bro.
Let's keep him busy. Don't punch him. Not too hard. Jab that foot. Move it. Set it up. Drop the right hand. Drop that body. Bring that right hand down, bro.
Another beer, Frankie, and repeat. Another beer.
my beer.
I didn't drink your beer. I just saw that you get so thirsty, dude. And you're so hot. What? No. I'm gonna get another one. Mine's done, dude. You don't try to sell this beer.
You drinking beer right now?
I need you. You're still doing it. I'm not touching your beer. I want you to get with that. Because I knew you were low over there. I want to drink your beer and I have myself. No, I don't drink yours. I'm gonna get another one myself. I don't drink your beer. It's your beer, man.
Time as a professional with a record of 1 victory and 1 KO. Representing Sacramento, California, Santos Ortega. Across the third corner, wearing white with gold trim, he weighed in at an official 120 3/4 pounds. He enters the ring for the 4th time as a professional. With 2 victories, 1 defeat, both of his victories coming by way of KO. De San Felipe, Baja California, Mexico, Iván El Monte Martino.
That's how you can get knocked out, bro.
Monkey.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You top ranked girls, man. So you know how girls smack talk, they're pricing. They want
The TR ones are, top end ones are.
the other ones are the models that are wishful
Yeah, they'll be at supermarkets or whatever.
Yeah. Nice short, man.
Right there where the kids are sitting, those seats are like $33 each or $39 each.
Really?
Maybe it was 40.
Whoa.
And then these ones are like 150 something like that. So ones way at the top, they're like $10. So
These are 150 right here? It ain't going down. The low guy
yeah, it's tough.
is tough. Yeah.
She's gonna go down.
Oh, he won't, man. I hate fights like this, man. It's too tall for him, man. suckers come out from Mexico? The little dude came from Mexico? He's man. Hurry up with this fight, man. There you go. You know Deli Delicious is sponsoring them too. Deli Delicious? That sandwich place. Man, where you living in Fresno or what?
You know, there's that here.
Yeah, bro.
I am living
north
in
of
that town. I don't live in that town.
What town you living in, man?
Fresno, dude.
I know the shit. You know who that kid reminds me of right there? That Thai guy, the guy lost to my Thai fighter. Is it? That chocolate leaf guy? He reminds me of the little one, yeah. Can't wait to Thai guy, bro. Lost his face. Mexico fights.
You never Mexico food?
Where's he from? Belize?
I don't know, somewhere down there. Guatemala, maybe.
Looks like that, dude.
Nicaragua.
Crowd coming in here, bro. Is that your crowd? Is that your gym? It's the same hat and everything. Where are you from, bro?
North America.
It is. There's a whole bunch of them, bro. What company is that? Garden company. That's fucked up.
You got me in a bad mood talking about North Fresno.
Get back with your hands down. Up. There you go. Back on the seat. And when you touch it with that chair, put it right in.
Expensive ticket. Like 70, 80, maybe 90.
Up there? He's not going down. Hit him again. Yeah, he's barely finished by it, dude.
They could have given you half.
Oh, man, that's...
I'm full, don't give me nothing.
I already told you they're not gonna knock him out, but just the way his whole stance is, you know what I mean, bro? Oh! He's all right, dude. He's not going down, dude. He's not going down. Hungry, bro. Every time I look at those sick ass tacos you guys ate yesterday. Oily shit. I almost didn't want to fall back asleep because I saw that shit. Like, oh my god, dude, get to go.
I didn't even had 3 plus.
You had 3 plus? You fell asleep in that movie.
We all heard you, dude. We all heard you.
When I snoring?
I was like, you snore so loud.
I just looked, I saw all of you guys look at me like, what the fuck? Did I get sleep? Man, that's no net. When did it hiring? And you got the wire like that. That guy over there. I can do that. You know what I mean, bro?
Where's Peter? He left the circus? Circus was in town.
I give it to a small guy, man. Okay, fight with this. Fight forward, huh? Nah, I'd be over at 7, bro.
No, because the main event don't start till, the ESPN show don't start till 6:30.
What does he do in the meantime?
Yeah, break. And then the main event on ESPN don't start till 7:30.
Oh, there's a main event still? works with them, bro. Really, they work? He didn't work. He's gonna better make $100, $500 fine.
That guy fought for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Who did? Which one?
Mexican.
Really? Against who?
In Australia, against Joseph Parker.
Really?
And then Joseph Parker went and lost his belt to Anthony Joshua, the heavyweight champion.
Yeah, the one that won physical, right?
Yeah.
That guy nowhere near those guys' caliber, though.
He's up there. He fought for the heavyweight championship of the world, dude.
Why did you fight the sitting duck, man? Why did you fight like a sitting duck guy? That guy sucks, dude.
Brian got you working out over there?
Yeah, I keep skipping.
Huh?
Yeah, I keep skipping. Because I work nights.
In Fresno? Where did you say you were from?
East Coast.
But you're from Fresno?
I live in Fresno.
Okay, cool. exactly the same way. It fits 15, so it's about a third pool.
I figured it was really clear the lights, bro. The glasses, bro, you see them a lot better, dude. Should have been a bit of fucking event, dude.
I see that growing to be the next one for Ramirez out of Stockton area. I'm hoping that he'll be able to stop and win it in Stockton.
Yeah.
Hey, what's happening, bro?
Right, dude. I fucked up. Hell no, man. Not like that, bro. You training your gym? Knockout. I know first day had a Russian coach. I thought he was. What happened to fight, man? Oh! What's the next? This is the fifth bout already,
How many for the main event? How many total?
This is the fifth fight.
Fifth fight.
So there's still 2 more before the main event. What is that? Fresno kid?
Oh, he hasn't fought yet?
No. And then the other one is the Andy Vance.
Andy Vance
and then that other 8-round fight with the Russian and the African. No, that guy's Spanish from somewhere from down south.
Oh! I got pooped up here, bro. Hey, we can't. I need your help. You ain't been out because this is behind the man to jump down here. All right, guys. Enjoy the fight, guys. Come on, man. She got escorted all the way to the back. You see her? He found her seat all the way to the back.
The wife?
The wife. What the fuck, bro?
Wow, who is typically the mother of the child? Stand up for him. Everybody got the tallest foot in the right there in the middle.
Oh man, it's a good knockout, dude. Green punched the red. And he had his hand up in the air. Don't kick it.
the red corner, wearing camo trunks with blue and red trim, he weighed in at an official 117.5 pounds. As a professional, he maintains a record of 3 victories against 5 losses with 1 bout even. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Sergio Lopez.
Trunks are good here, trunks are good here. When I say stop, don't throw any punches. When I say break, take a step back. That's some boxing in games. Touch him up and still work.
Hey guys, get over here right now. We're playing right here.
See him right there? Come here, Jesse. Come on, let's go over there. Come on.
Ramirez. That one, all the one you took today. Where's the
Oh, can I use your phone finger?
Did you see?
Kid is durable, man. He doesn't lose by knockout.
What is happening right now?
That's been a good shot. He don't lose by knockout.
Oh.
Because you drank my beer, huh?
I didn't drink your beer. I just saw that you were getting so thirsty, dude. And you're so hot. What? No. I'm going to get another one. Mine's good, dude. You don't drink each other's beer.
You drinking beer right now?
I need you. You're still dancing. I'm not touching your beer. I want you to get with that. I knew you were low over there. I want to drink your beer when I have myself. No, I don't drink yours. I'm going to get another one myself. I don't drink your beer. It's your beer.
You left the circus? Circus was in town.
I give it to a small guy, man. Kind of fight with this.
Really? And then Joseph Parker went and lost his belt to Anthony Joshua, the heavyweight champion.
Yeah, the one that won kids school, right?
Yeah.
That guy nowhere near those guys' caliber, though.
He's up there. He fought for the heavyweight championship for a while, dude.
Why did you fight the sitting duck, dude? I just felt like a sitting duck guy. That guy sucks, dude.
Last round.
Really? Shut up. You just passed around?
Last round.
Really? Shut up. You just passed around?
Last Friday, John Means. John is the manager for Danny O'Connor. We'll get all into what happened on Friday, the aftermath, and going forward in just a couple of minutes with John Means. Tony D, joining me bottom of the hour, 3:35. Top of hour number 2, 4:05. Pete Lopes, Derek X. We'll get the view from the side of Jose Ramirez. Of course, they're the host, co-host of the Fight Hour here on 940 ESPN. We'll just get their impressions because they were in the room when all of what happened rolled out. Top 5 at 5, then Joel Listman at 5:35. Our elite soccer mind breaking down the semifinals of the World Cup. That should be pretty exciting coming up tomorrow and Wednesday. All that coming forward in the next couple of hours. One more thing at 5:55. But without further ado, we welcome to the program John Means. John, thank you for taking time out of your early evening, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We're 3 hours ahead of you guys, so hope you're enjoying your afternoon.
We are indeed. Where do we find you today? Are you out in New York City, that area?
Boston.
Framingham. Okay, Fred. I have family in Framingham, so I have a soft spot for where you're at.
There you go.
A lot of folks here didn't know a lot about Danny O'Connor, except for the fact that he was the opponent to the Central Valley's own Jose Ramirez. For folks here who don't know, Danny, going back to 2007, he was the bronze medalist in the U.S. Olympic trials. In 2008 in Beijing, he was the U.S. Olympic team alternate. He is a fighter who is as committed to the Boston area as Jose is to the Central Valley. One of the things that I discovered about Danny O'Connor, real character guy. He had special trunks, a special jacket, special shoes made to honor the victims of the Boston Marathon. He's a guy who's very much aware of who he is and the area that he's in. All right. So with that backdrop, John, there has been a lot of information and a lot of misinformation about what exactly happened on Friday. Let's start with this. Did you feel going into the fight that Danny was in the kind of shape that you wanted him to be in?
Danny's a warrior, and in fact, when we got the call and flew out to LA to meet with some promoters about the fight, we started camp right away before the contract was signed in Colorado Springs, and Danny was in great shape. And when Danny shows up to a fight, he's dangerous. I mean, most people go back and look at the one really bad knockout that's on YouTube, and everybody looks at it, but that's not, that's boxing. Anything can happen. But I believe, Danny was gonna. We came in to win it. We didn't come in for any other reason but to win it. But it was going to be a great battle because Jose's not only a gentleman but a great warrior, and so I was really looking forward to it. And the weight issue wasn't concerning us because usually the day or two before a fight you're 1 or 2 pounds over, 3 pounds over. So we weren't concerned about that at all. There was a lot of things that went on that we wish we could take back, and we can't. But I thought he was. It was going to be a great battle. I mean, we came to win it, and we realized that was the first time in a lot of fights we were going to get booed walking into the arena, and we were okay with it.
Well, help me. Of course, being from the Boston area, you understand booing, just like in New York and Philly. It's just that's the way sports fans are. Help me out with this because you said that it's normal before a fight, before you get near the weigh-in, and I'm guessing you're talking within days or maybe a week before the weigh-in. It's not uncommon to be 1 or 2 or 3 pounds overweight. So given that, John, why was this time cutting that weight? Why was it different than say other times? Why was it clearly difficult for John? Because obviously that contributed to, in large part, I'm guessing, him having become severely dehydrated.
Well, the day before, I believe, I can't speak on everything because he kind of winds down his interaction with the team except for training. We were at the gym, Aleman's gym, working out the day before. He was in great shape. We came to the press conference. He was in great shape for that. Friday morning we wake up, he's 2 pounds over, so it's 5 a.m. Let's go to the gym. And he went in the steam room and probably stayed a little too long. And that's the misconception. We never made it to the weigh-in. We came back to the hotel. He was totally, he melted into my seat of my car. We drove back to the hotel. And when we got up to get on the calibrated official scale, that's when he collapsed. So he was not... we never made it to the weigh-in, and it was over. The misconception was the commission doctors said he couldn't do anything. They weren't even there. The team, as a team, made a call to send him to the hospital.
And that was forgive my interruption. That explains why, pretty much out of nowhere, Bob Arum takes the mic and says, "I've got some very bad news to report."
Yeah, at first you hope for the best. That go in there, take the pound over, don't fight for a belt, but still put on a good show for the people of Fresno, and win, and then come back for a belt fight later. So we talked about we could hydrate him, we could do this, we could do that, and then we called the paramedics and thought, they'll give him an IV, he'll be fine, he'll gain a pound or so, and he'll be fine. And when the paramedic got there, Danny's kidneys were having problems, and he had a headache, and could hardly talk. I mean, he was incoherent, he couldn't talk a lot, so they put him on a stretcher and took him to the hospital. And we went down there, and they admitted him. First they had him in the ER, and they were pumping fluids into him, and it wasn't helping, so they had to admit him. And Ken from Murphy's Boxing was flying out from Boston, and we intercepted him on a layover, and he got off the plane and came right to the hospital. So it was full of guys asking the doctors where to park and stuff like that. So it was they put him in ICU, and it was really scary. We were worried more for that. So the promoters made the call not to do it. We were hoping to push out the weigh-in later and make it to it and have a great fight. We didn't make the call. We're not going to fight.
All right, so
right away.
Well, I'm visiting with John Means, the manager for Danny O'Connor. Danny, of course, was the opponent for Jose Ramirez. We thought that was going to be a fight on Saturday, but obviously dehydration, going to the hospital, canceled the fight. You mentioned kidneys. Was there, to your knowledge, any extenuating medical condition relative to a kidney, both of his kidneys, that the doctors believe contributed to Danny's condition in conjunction with being dehydrated?
Not at all. They ran a ultrasound on it when he first got there, and then hydrated him. And when he finally passed, they did another ultrasound. And the next day, they gave him a clean bill of health. He was still, feeling like crap because he was in the hospital. He was poked and prodded. But I know they ended up doing about 10 bags of saline and then a couple, 1 or 2 potassiums in him to get him back to be able to leave. And then we went back to the hotel and rested, and we watched unfortunately we had to watch the fight and the news from the room.
Was there, again, and I realize you're his manager, you're not a doctor, but you were certainly in consultation with doctors, nurses, and everybody at the hospital. To the best of your estimation from what you heard from them, was he at all affected by the intense heat here? This is a very different climate. I realize he wasn't training outdoors, but nevertheless, going and coming to different events and different things going on, it's a very different climate here than it is in Framingham, Massachusetts.
We weren't outside a lot. Can contribute to it, of course. You walk out and it sucks everything out of you when it's 102. And it's not a wet, sticky heat like
right.
It's a very dry, hot heat. So I'm not saying it did or didn't. The first thing the paramedic was asking if we were outside, things like that. But not really. When they found out he'd been in a sauna, they knew what happened.
John, what degree of influence in a situation like this does the fighter himself, does Danny have, or was this decision that was made on Friday completely out of his hands? Did he have no say at all in this?
Everything's done by a team, even decisions on, I don't call Danny and say, you're going to fight here. We discuss it, we talk in benefits and pros and cons of everything, but, with the energy of a world championship fight and, everybody trying to get everything done, it's hard to say. It wasn't scary to know you're 2 pounds over. It was scary when he came out of the sauna and looked like he did. So it wasn't a decision like you're going to do this or else. And it wasn't a forced dry or forced thing or anything like that. It was just he'd been a little dehydrated before he went in because he hadn't drank the day before as well, and it did it. And one of the things we didn't do on this fight, which we've done, and we now are interviewing new ones for the next camp, is have a nutrition consultant that usually helps cut weight the last week, and they come in with a plan and everything else. But because of family issues, team issues, and getting people from different parts of the country into Fresno, we as a team we failed to do that. Danny's a professional; he's an athlete. He knows what to do to make a fight. At the Claggett fight on March 17th, he weighed in at 139, which causes a lot of social media people saying things, but he knows how to cut weight. I mean, he's been doing this for years, and it's a shame because it would have been a great battle,
Well, let me ask you that. John Means is my guest manager for Danny O'Connor. I tell you, I'll preface this by saying I'm not a boxing professional. I'm not a trainer. I'm not a nutritionist. So I'm not attaching or implying any fault or blame here. I'm simply trying to understand a lot of these components, which you're helping with a great deal. As you look back in retrospect, and I realize that hindsight is 20/20, besides what you just said, John, at the very top, you said, there were some things, decisions made and stuff that if you had to do it all over again, some things would be done differently. Are those some of the things? Are there other aspects of this that in retrospect, a few days ago, you would say we shouldn't have done that?
It's always hard to go back, and as a team, we're looking at going forward to the next fight, and Danny being healthy 100% and getting checked out. He's on his way home right now. He was in Colorado Springs for yesterday and flew into there where we have our camp, and now he's heading back, and it's easy to say, well, we should have done this, we should have done that, and we start pointing fingers at everybody, and there were some emotions flying in the hotel room, yes, because this is, which people understand. They always think, he gets paid. No one got paid.
Right.
We all had to eat plane tickets, everything. I mean, Top Rank was gracious enough to let us stay in the hotel without kicking us out. But yeah, it's a financial devastation as well. So there was emotions flying, and But it came down to that didn't matter. What mattered was Danny being well and getting better.
You know this sport far better than I will ever know it. And I will tell you that when the news broke and we put it out there, and then several others put it out, I was hearing from people literally, John, all over the country, both in media and otherwise. And boxing being the way it is, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, I kept seeing comments in emails and on Twitter saying something seems fishy, something seems wrong here. To those people, what is your response? And I'm going to say this. Let me just add this, that a lot of times in life, sometimes something really is the way it is. Sometimes there's not a conspiracy going on. It just is the way it is.
People are going to hate, and a lot of times, I mean, as Danny's manager, I hear that, and I'm very offended, and I get pissed off a little bit, but like he said, don't even read it. Those people, they're not fighters. They don't know what he's going through. They don't know what someone's going through. The minute Jose has a bad fight, he's going to get the same hit, So if something happens. So these, those guys are just, they're
it comes to the territory is what you're saying.
Yeah, and they're keyboard bullies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would never come to a fight. They see him in a fight, they're kissing his butt. They're home, they're like, what a bum, So they're keyboard bullies. So you can tell them I said that.
And you just did.
They get hold of me on Twitter, too, if they want.
That's right. Is there by rule, whether it's Top Rank or, John, something contractual, when the decision was made Friday, is it a time limit that a decision like that has to be made within a given amount of time, and then once the decision is made, there's no going back, or was there an out in the event that Danny felt like he was okay and that he felt safe and his doctors felt safe with his health, that he could have gone, or once it was made, that was that?
Well, once Bob announced it from the weigh-in, it was pretty much over.
Yeah.
But if by chance before he announced it, we made the call today, it's good, then the commission doctors would be strenuous about it, and he'd have to pass a whole lot of tests just to be able to do it. So there really wasn't time by the time they made the call.
Sure.
To come back from that. We would have loved to. We're hoping for, you're always hoping for that miracle, but it wasn't worth. I mean, even if the doctors told us he's good, and Danny felt better, we probably wouldn't have wanted to fight that next day because he wouldn't be 100%.
And I'll just say this, and again, I've said this to some people privately, and I've taken some heat for it, and I couldn't care less. The fact is, as I said a minute ago, sometimes stuff happens, and I'm racking my brain with some of the folks who've said stuff to me, trying to find out or figure out, well, why would somebody and his entire team fly 3,000 miles just to say, hey, you know what, I don't feel like fighting. And that's just not credible to me. That kind of a methodology. Let me ask you this: Danny's 30-3. He's also 33 years old. Do you anticipate? Has it already happened? Are there discussions that the fight will get rescheduled, or is there a chance Danny is going to say, you know what? This is a scare. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna be a broadcaster because I've got an interest in that. Which way is Danny going right now that you know of?
Well, I know. I spoke with him a little bit ago, and I know we're looking forward to the future and building the Daniel O'Connor boxing brand. We have, a website and things going on, and he has his foundation that he really loves. But, we're not. I told him at the airport the other day, no boxing talk for a few days. Get feeling better, then we'll talk about it. But whatever he decides to do, he's going to be great at it. He always has been. And there has been, we'd love for them to give us another chance, but, that's up to the powers that be. I don't think it's going to happen this time, but we will continue fighting if Danny feels like it.
John,
he tells me tomorrow, look for a fight, we're going to look for a fight.
John, last thing for you, and I'm going to have you speak for Danny. What's Danny's message to the people of the Central Valley who are listening throughout the Valley today, wondering, what happened? And you've given a lot of answers. You've filled in a lot of blanks. What is Danny O'Connor's message to the folks of the Central Valley?
Well, he would love to come back and give them the show that they wanted, and wanted me to tell everybody that we felt the most welcome when we're fighting out of town than we've ever felt. Everybody in the Valley was kind to us. They opened their arms. They opened their gyms. They were, asking for autographs when we were in town. I mean, everybody in the Valley was kind and happy Danny O'Connor was in their town. We weren't treated like the villains like most opponents are. And then Jose Ramirez stepped up, and he's more of a gentleman. And he's the best gentleman boxer I've ever seen, just except for Danny, of course. He's a gentleman. He was gracious about it. He had to be disappointed. I mean, he got a lot of flack for taking this fight with us. And we like to, get in the ring with him, and if not, support him when he fights and such. In fact, I had personally bought 10 tickets for the fight for my sponsors that were from California, and they didn't show up because Danny wasn't fighting, but I didn't ask for a refund. I just let him sit, because or gave them to some people at the hotel, because I didn't feel that we should ask for a refund, Right. And we love Fresno, surprised us all, and inspired us, to be kinder when the opponent comes to our town. So Danny would like to thank everybody for all the kindness, the doctors, the guys at Top Rank, ESPN, everybody was kind to him, Jose Ramirez, of course, and we want to come back, and we'd love, to get in the ring with Jose. If Danny feels like that's what's going to happen after this week, and we'd love to be back fighting in Fresno.
Well, John, I just want to tell you that I called you out of nowhere on Friday. You had no idea who I was. You took my call. I appreciate that, and based on this conversation, as well as everything that I have read and people contacts, a couple of sources that I have back in your area, he is a stand-up guy. You're a stand-up guy. Your candor is greatly appreciated. I can tell you from all of us here, we wish nothing but the very best that Danny gets back on his feet. He's back on his feet, but that he gets completely healthy again. And all of us here would like nothing more than to see Danny come back out here and him and Jose go at it, because, as you said, they both are mirror image of each other relative to character and so on. And we just wish all you guys the best.
Thank you so much, and thanks for, like I said, everybody in the Valley's hospitality. We love it. If it wasn't 104, we probably would have stayed longer.
Understood. John, have a good evening. Thanks so much.
You too. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
There you go. John Means. He is the manager for Danny O'Connor. We're going to follow this up a little bit later. In about 35 minutes, we're going to have Coach Pete. Pete Lopes is going to be in here. Derek X is going to be in here. They are from the Fight Hour on Saturdays, 10 a.m. right here on 940 ESPN. And they'll give you their impressions. They were in the room. They saw what was going on. They were up close to the announcement and then and the aftermath. We'll talk with them coming up at about 4 o'clock. This is the CGP.